Hello, world. Welcome to. Great. This is TJ Morris with ET Radio. I just finished doing a conference, so I'm glad to be here. So, spur of the moment here with my dog here. I'm real excited to be back with Janet Carroll Lessin. And if Bill M. Tracer's out there, Bill, we'll get you back on Saturdays again weekly. I was down a couple of weeks due to health, but I'm back now, and I'm real excited to have a gentleman coming on here. But let me get Janet Carroll Lessin in Hawaii, one of my co-hosts with our ACO. We have agents, consultants, organizers, authors. And we've been working with people, and Janet is always really good about connecting us to people, and that's what I've been doing at a psychic fair today. Janet Carroll Lessin, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Hi, I'm glad to be back with you, TJ. It's been a little while, a couple weeks at least.
And I'm excited to have you back, and we're doing Saturday. Janet, you and I usually do Thursday or Friday. You and I are.
We were doing
Thursday.
Saturdays are fine for now, or Thursday or Saturday. I'm kind of staying home for the winter. I decided last winter I went out and I almost died from all the flu viruses. And I said, I think I'm going to stay home this winter and avoid the flu season. And I used to just go out for the UFO Congress, but they moved that till September. So no reason to come to the mainland during the height of flu season.
Oh, wow. They moved it in September. Maybe I'll catch it this year. How about that? I just got that. New Horizons here at Navarre Conference Center, and myself and my daughter spoke on UFOs and ET and life after death, and we had a request for doing our near-death experiences. So that was a lot of fun to share, everybody, and told people if they showed up today. We had about 100 people in the room. There's like 6 across and 8 down, 8 to 10 on both sides. It was about 100 people. We were really shocked. You know, when you started, I walked into a full house. I was like, whoa, and they had people standing in the back. So it was really good to be a speaker, and so we welcome everybody back for July. If you get to come to Florida and the Panhandle, Navarre Conference Center, and my daughter works in hospitality at the Days Inn right next door, so I hope you guys come down. We have beautiful, let's call it the Emerald Coast. It's very beautiful water, very blue, very wonderful. And Janet is in Hawaii, so we've got you covered from the East Coast to the West Coast. Hawaii, I lived out there for years, and that's where we began our Ascension Center and Psychic Awakening classes. So if you're interested in anything to do with psychic awakening, consciousness, dealing with, I guess, what we call alienology, cosmology, epistemology, phenomenology, and we even do a little Stargate and remote viewing. So mostly just having fun with mystics, oracles, psychics, sages, seers. And I'm going to have to get a gentleman on here named Steve Colbern, and let me close my door. Stand by just a second. Sorry, this is very inappropriate for me to do this because I know we're a professional show and we're going up on YouTube, folks. But I've been running around here being very informal. Now, this is much better. Let me, Janet is Aquarian Radio. I'm TJ Morris, ET Radio, and we will help put this on roughly 22 websites. It goes out on FM radio, goes on the big one, which is iTunes, and Spreaker, and all kind of other places, Stitcher. So we're very excited. We've been doing this since 2012. And Steve Colbern, this is the first time he's been with myself in Florida and Janet in Hawaii, and we're going to bring him on from California. So stand by. Stephen, is it Steve or Steven?
Call me Steve. It's Steven, but I go by Steve.
All right, so it is Steven, but you go by Steve. Colbern?
Steve.
Not Colbert.
No, Colbern.
All right. Colbern. Is there a Steve Colbert on TV or something like that?
Yes, there is.
There's
Steve Colbert.
It is. Yeah, it is Stephen Colbert. I think his name was the PH, though, not a V.
Okay, well, what happened was I'd vetted you, and his name came up with his face and your face on the same page. So I was like, I'll have to ask him if that's just a coincidence. I guess it is. Well, you can hear Janet in there. So, Janet, anything you want to start with, or you want Steve to introduce himself, or you want to read the new bio?
Well, let me see what I have for Steve. I kind of just got home myself. I was getting my hair done. Okay.
Nice.
Well, basically, yeah, we're both redheads. I decided to go red in my old age. You know, there's that old thing back in the 80s. When I'm old, I will wear purple. Yeah, but when I get old, I have red hair. But my mother had red hair, and my grandmother on my father's side had red hair. So we had red hair in our family because we're part Irish.
Yeah.
And I had reddish hair. Now and again, my hair would, my natural hair color would, you know.
I like you with red hair.
Yeah,
we were both blondes,
like
and we're redheads too. So yeah, blonde red.
This is a red blonde.
Strawberry blonde.
So
it's a girl thing.
In honor of my.
It's a humanoid thing.
It is.
In honor of your Irish.
The Irish thing. So in honor of my Irish heritage and my 65th birthday, which is February 6th coming up, I decided to go red. So let me find. I was stalling, so I found Steve Colbern is a chemist, materials scientist with over 20 years of industrial experience. He is currently working in the area of nanotubes and working to start a nanotechnology company. And I'm very interested in that. I was just talking to someone about the nanotechnology medical, so hopefully we get into that. And Steve is also a UFO abduction researcher and experiencer, and he was a partner of the late Dr. Roger Leir from 2008 until his death in 2014. Steve met Dr. Leir after visiting him as a patient shortly after a mysterious object appeared in his toe in 2008. And I have some implants, so I'm going to want to talk to Steve about that too.
Yeah, I'll have to check you out.
So Steve analyzed several alleged alien implants that Dr. Leir surgically removed from his patients, including Steve's, and has uncovered startling findings. And Steve is currently performing analysis of reported alien material. And then on aquarianradio.com, I'm going to put all this information about Steve. And Steve, well, I was down at the beauty salon, and he said a bunch more stuff. So while we're kind of talking, I'll go on mute and I'll update the page on aquarianradio.com. And give me about a half an hour, and I'll get all of his stuff added. And you can go and follow along with Steve's information. He's got a lot of incredible research, and I was reading about your abduction. But I want to give away the story. We're going to let it unfold. And THeresa, back to you. What I would just like to do is go round robin at a point, like get Steve's story, and then go. I would like Steve also, if you want to ask questions too, invite you at a certain point, and we can all ask each other questions because all three of us are experiencers, and it'd be great to connect the dots and compare notes. Okay, thanks.
Definitely.
All right.
You, TJ.
All right. Thank you, Steve. I would like to ask you if you would like to add anything to that which I've got posted on TJ Marsh ET Radio, that little bit that she did share with us already. So that's just a little basic introduction. But would you like to add anything or just start back with when you were born?
Well, I published a couple of pretty complete papers on two of the implants on my website, and I think they're available on Open Minds and Willie Strieber's website too. And I think they're of interest to anybody that's interested in scientific study of these things. And just wanted to mention that first. But
and you were on with George Noory Coast to Coast about a month ago, or when were you on George's show?
No, it was I think January of last year, about a year ago.
Oh, great! Been a year ago, so well, that's good. We've got you in this time frame, January 12th, 2019, folks, for the record. And Steve, we've never met, but we're friends on Facebook, so that's how we found each other. And it was sort of strange because I'll just tell people, folks, you know Daryl Sims, investigator out of Houston, Texas. He's doing a conference today in Houston, and I did one here where I live in Gulf Breeze in Navarre Conference Center. But Steve, Roger Leir, Dr. Leir, worked in our on our television shows for roughly, was it about 3 years, Steve? But give us a little rundown on Dr. Roger Leir, because we've had Daryl Sims in our group, our ACO club folks, our ACO association, and our UFO association, but he heads up our Alien Hunters organization, and that's plural because Daryl has the original alienologist stamp, as he was former CIA from the old guys back in the day, because we're all up in our 60s and maybe 70s even, but who's counting, right? So, Steve, Dr. Leir has passed, so tell us whatever you can about him.
March 2014. Well, he was a podiatrist, and he had a lifelong interest in UFOs. He said his father got him into the subject. His father was a Mason that got a lot of information on UFOs and other esoteric subjects from that organization, and he went to a lot of UFO conferences and wanted to learn all he could about the subject. And he met Daryl Sims, I think in Texas, at a UFO conference, and Daryl told him about these objects that were implanted in people that were affiliated with the abductions, and Dr. Leir said he thought it was the most ridiculous thing he'd ever heard at the time, and he looked at some of the X-rays that Daryl provided and was a bit intrigued, and a lady named Alice Levy that later became one of his implant patients said, well, you better go back and talk to the guy. This might be important. And so he went back and talked to Daryl and said that you know, if you can get one of these patients, one of these people to come out to California and pay their way out there, I will remove the object for free, and we can get it analyzed and find out what it is. And so they did that, and found some strange things about it. The main thing being that the metal in the objects were made of meteoric iron, and it's highly unlikely the person stepped on a meteorite or got a meteorite in their system somehow. So they thought that was very strange, and so they started a program to they partnered up and started a program to remove these implants on a regular basis and analyze them. And at one point he got Robert Bigelow involved with his National Institute for Discovery Science, and they got some pretty good analysis done on 3 or 4 of the objects through that, and they had that was in the 1990s, I believe, and they had a hiatus for a while, and got some more funding from Jaime Maussan and from other people and did a few more removals. And I was present for the last 3 removals, patients 15, 16, and 17, and a documentary was made about the last removal, patient 17, and I'm in part of that. And I was patient 15. I actually met Dr. Leir after an abduction where something was put in my toe, and I went to him and told him that I had a possible object in my toe. I don't think he believed me at first, but he gave me a prescription to get it X-rayed, and when he said to give a copy to the patient, and went and got it X-rayed, and I knew I was going to see something on the film, but when I did, it changed my life forever. I mean, there's a heck of a difference, like I always say, between strongly suspecting that something like this goes on and knowing for sure. I mean, if there's a physical object in your body from something like this that appeared, right after you had something like this happen, then that's pretty much knowing for sure. So he expressed great interest in taking it out, and he removed it 7 months later. And he said he didn't have any facilities to analyze